Okay, my name is Eyden Samunderu. I'm actually a program director here at the International School of Management in Dortmund, and I hold a PhD in strategic management. And my background is more aviation because I come from a consulting background, and now I am in academia. In my first year at university, I spoke to one of my professors if it was possible that I could write my first bachelor thesis in aviation. And she actually said, "Do I have any aviation background?" I said, "No, but what I had was passion." Okay, so she said, "Okay, fair enough. So what we do is we will go through and read some material, get yourself familiar with the industry," because at that stage I was quite knowledgeable with the industry, but I didn't have the practical hands-on side of it. So after graduation, yes, I started writing my thesis, and then I started working with an aviation consulting company back in London, and that was my first break into aviation. And since then, it has been a long passion since today, yes. Well, I mean, if you look at it from a global helicopter view, I think we can see different trends defined by different markets. But the general picture is that if you look at the global aviation industry here, we're seeing there's significant increase in passenger demand factors, of course. Okay, we're seeing especially the rising economic markets of India, for example, the emerging markets of Brazil, etc. So as a result, we're seeing more and more people demanding air services. So as a result, people are demanding to use more airlines, and this has become one key trend. But that's on the passenger demand side. But on the other side, another key trend now is that big airlines, especially the full service network carriers, these are the ones that are beginning to focus on building hub operations. Because if you look at Frankfurt Airport, or if you look at London Heathrow, for example, these type of airports have to accommodate these volume of passengers, and to do that you need to invest in technology, of course. You need to provide passengers with some kind of seamless passenger journeys, yes? That's one key aspect. Then another aspect of trends that we've seen is also that airlines are now sort of redefining their business models. The one is where you generate revenue from selling seats, because your product is seats, yes? Then you need to generate revenues outside the core product here in terms of ancillary. That's the reason why airlines are asking passengers to pay for extra luggage. If you want priority booking, you pay. If you want food on board, you pay. So these are ways of trying to increase the source of revenue purely because the competition has become too tight. Then on the other aspect of trends, what we're seeing is the impact of technology, of course. I think technology has become an unbeatable market force that it's either you engage in technology or you get left behind. Low-cost carriers, they're just about 25 years old. The concept, the model, put it that way. It's not a trend anymore. It's a business model, okay? Because they already make 25% of global passenger traffic here, 25%. And the majority of their passenger traffic is more intra-regional, yes? But since we're seeing these low-cost carriers becoming more and more aggressive, more or less, they're tapping into the big airports too to get a piece of passenger factors here. So what we now see is airport will have to deal with congestion, you know, okay? Especially hubs normally, because hub airports, they deal with massive congestions, basically because you have all these feeder airlines coming inside the hub, bringing in maximum volume of passengers every single minute, put it that way. But of course, to synchronize all this here, we need feasible technology that can allow passengers to immediately connect to their gates, more or less, immediately follow where they're supposed to go with very minimum intervention from the human side. But of course, the idea of increasing technology improvement is to ensure that you do improve passenger flow. But of course, the key aspect that will cause a lot of these complexities in terms of bottlenecks is security at the airports. Because the higher the volume of passengers, the better you need to improve security technology too. That's the reason why now, if you take a look, airport security has definitely changed in terms of the level of input of technology that comes in. Okay, the volume of passengers is way too high to accommodate this level of technology. So we need to move further to improve airport security, but still maintaining passenger flow. And this is where the challenges are normally for airport operators, airlines, and other value chain players that make up the whole industry here. Airport operators and airlines have to go into a consensus now to share data so that they can be able to improve customer journeys, especially when they walk inside the airports. And this means that passengers can have access to their booking flight, their space for storing luggage, for example, and where they can be able to retrieve their baggage, more or less. This is still in its early phase because it is very capital intensive, of course, because it requires integration of data, which is a very complex thing in any industry because there's going to be a lot of data sharing here. But at the moment, in terms of technological impact, what we see is there are still some silos, okay, because there's no consensus in data sharing. I mean, every airline keeps its own data because data is a gold mine in aviation. So as a result, we're seeing this impact of augmented reality. That's one part of technology. The other part of technology is the Internet of Things. Passengers, we want to have flawless flow, okay? We want to have seamless travel. So basically what airlines are doing now is to work with software developers to try and see how can we improve passenger journey experience here, even with your mobile device. I mean, if you take a look, most big airports now, they've sort of minimized the number of check-ins, yes, because you have self-check-ins, which allows you to immediately process your check-in before you actually board a flight. That's one part. But of course, when you talk of the Internet of Things, that means almost everything has to be connected here. So you can be able to look through where is my luggage going to be collected from, for example. Is the flight going to be delayed, for example? If it's delayed, can I be able to connect on the next flight? But all this requires consolidation of data, to be able to have this flawless of information. Well, we can only speculate on what could be the trend in terms of technology, of course. I mean, the thing is that we're going through waves here, Okay, technology waves are changing. We are going to see more and more of Internet of Things, I think that will be my most prediction here, that basically activities will connect. Yes, okay. When we are able to connect, we will be able to find better ways of optimize customer data and give customer added value. Because obviously, if we can have activities that are basically talking to each other, that means convenience for the customer and better data management for the airline operators or even the airport operators.